personal things, so I'm gonna try my best to get through it. So I like to think of myself as unique, like an individual. So I wasn't really sure who I could talk about that would summarize me as a whole, as a person, until the last couple of weeks. I faced something really difficult, and this person has lived a full life, and I'm just beginning. This person has faced so many struggles, but still got through it and has had so many achievements, has created a legacy. They aren't a famous star, they aren't a singer or anything, but to me they're a superhero. And the person I'm introducing today is my grandpa. So my grandpa growing up, his house caught on fire at a very young age. He lost both his parents by the age of 12. He never finished middle school. He had to grow up to be an adult very young, and he had like 8 brothers and sisters. But they were all in different age ranges. My grandpa was the second youngest one, and so at the age of 12, you lost both parents. Your family is really scattered. He had to hop from houses to houses. He would sleep on couches. He would oftentimes not eat. So during this time, racism was very much alive. He has no education as a black man in America from the 1950s to the 1960s. He got married at a very young age. My grandma was 16 when they got married, and then they got pregnant with my mom and had her at the age of 17. So, and then had 3 other kids followed by that. So back to back, 4 kids in America, both have no education, and my grandma never knew her dad, so there's really no one except them, and my mom and my uncle and my aunt, my uncles and my aunt. So my grandpa first started a job where back in the day, like you see construction workers now on the roofs where they carry bricks and stuff like that. My grandpa back in the day did that job. That was the toughest job. It paid the most money. Nobody wanted to do it, but my grandpa did it because he needed to support his family. He would come home, and I talked to my mom about this, and he would come home days and have blood pouring off his shoulders, and my grandma would wipe the blood off with alcohol and everything. And he did it because he needed to provide for his family. He probably didn't want to do it, he probably didn't like it, but he did it because that's what was necessary to do. Eventually then, my grandpa went into the Vietnam War, which is that picture from that, so he could get himself a guaranteed check and support his family. So now we go later into when he's older, and my aunts and uncles and my mom, they're in school now and stuff. My grandpa, they didn't have a lot of money. My mom and my uncles and aunts, they would have to share the same bathwater. One would get in, one would get out. One would get in, one would get out. And there was Halloween. My mom told me she remembers this day Halloween where when my mom was in high school, she wore the same pair of jeans every day. And she paid for them herself. She had a job, she worked and she put herself through college too. And she went to Virginia Tech. She graduated a year early, had her class, and stayed a year off to pay for her tuition, and then went to Virginia Tech. Now, my grandpa, during this time, since they didn't have money, it was Halloween, and they wanted a costume. My grandpa handmade a costume for my mom and my uncles and my aunt. And my mom had told me, she was like, I'm not wearing this ugly thing, I don't want to wear this. And my grandma said, your father made that by himself, you're gonna wear that. And my mom put the costume on, and she said she was proud of it, and she wore it out, and she loved her costume. And so then when it's time for almost my mom to go to college, her sister, my aunt, got pregnant in high school at the age of 18. So now my grandpa doesn't have 6 mouths to feed, but 7 mouths to feed, and keep a roof over 7 people. My grandpa, they went through a lot of struggles, but got out of it. So now I'm gonna talk about his achievements and a legacy that he created. He got the first person in our family to go to college, which was my mom, to Virginia Tech. he raised my cousin, my aunt who got pregnant, twice. So after they're older now, my aunt moved out with my cousin and stuff. My cousin was really bad, so my grandma and my grandpa took my cousin in and raised my cousin and got him through college too. Bought him a new car, paid for his rent, everything. My grandma and my grandpa, they created a real estate company with 14 houses with no degree, no diploma. And the legacy that they created is they have 8 grandchildren and 3 great-grandchildren and have been married together for 50 plus years, and they're still married to this day. Now to the present day, my grandpa has emphysema, diabetes, and recently in the last couple of years, we found out he has lung cancer.
Breathe, sweetheart, just breathe, just breathe.
And recently it is stage 4 cancer, and it's terminal.
Just breathe.
And
Just breathe.
some research that I looked up is research shows a 10% life expectancy from the ages of people from 70 to 79 with lung cancer. My grandpa has had cancer for about 3-4 years now, so has outlived that life expectancy. He was dealing with chemo and he was fine, still dealt with his diabetes, and my grandpa is 77 right now. So these last couple of months have been to stage 4. We've stopped chemo and we stopped taking his medication now because it only causes him more pain than good. I personally now similarities why I chose my grandpa and why that we relate is because my grandpa is strong, he's caring, and he's independent. He's done everything by himself. I still have had my mom, but it's just been me and my mom since I was the age of 3. My dad wasn't really in my life, so that's how I relate to my grandpa too. He didn't have his father. I didn't have my father, but I feel my grandpa was like my dad. In high school, when I moved from where I was, my freshman year, I would go to my grandparents' house before school and after school, and I would have, now I feel a lot of memories that I've had with my grandpa. At first I didn't think I'd spend a lot of time because I'm younger, he's older, so I didn't, there's not really much we can relate about. But now I think about, there's a lot of memories that I have had with my grandpa and a lot of things that I will forever remember. We relate because my grandpa has gone through health issues. His better life, he's gone through health issues with diabetes and now cancer and emphysema. I've struggled with heart problems since middle school. I've had chest pains. I've passed out 3 times before just because I have anemia. So that means that I have low blood and my oxygen doesn't really flow. So sometimes if I don't eat or something, I'll just feel really sick and I'll pass out. And I'll just get back up like nothing happened. I've passed out 3 times public places when I'm by myself, and people are like, "You want to go to the hospital?" And I'm just like, "No, I'm good. I'm going back to what I was doing. Leave me alone. I'm okay." And that's how I see in my grandpa too. My grandpa has walked up a flight of stairs at his house having a heart attack. So I feel my grandpa is strong and I'm strong, and I feel like that's why I can relate to my grandpa. He's very caring and emotional. Growing up, my grandpa will never say to us when we're leaving, we'll say, "Bye, Grandpa, love you." He doesn't say it back. My family's not really emotional like that. But in these last couple of days, when my grandpa's being very sick, he says, "I love you" now. He says it a lot, all the time. And it hurts me that I'm here, but I know he wants me to get my education and to be successful, but it hurts that I can't see my grandpa and I can't be with him as much as I like to be. I've talked to my mom, and she said, I talk to her every day about how's my grandpa doing, and the recent thing she told me, which I feel like I can explain that really fits, is my grandpa has never been scared or shown fear in his life with my family. But these last couple of times, my mom says that my grandpa, she'll watch him and he'll be grabbing her hand so tight, and he said to her, he was like, "I'm scared, I don't want to die." And my mom said to him, "You had so much, you outlived all your brothers and sisters except for one. He's outlived all of them except for one right now. And that he's created out of having nothing. He has a house that he put over his roof that will have forever. He paid outright by himself. They have 3 cars they've paid outright by themselves. Wow. They had a real estate company they did by themselves. So he has a lot to be proud of." And when my mom explained that to him, he was like, "You're right, that is right." And every time we've had family gatherings, my grandpa would just come eat, go sleep. He would leave, we'll still be out laughing and stuff. But now we have something. The other day when I was up there a couple weeks ago, my mom was like, "Okay guys, let's go because Daddy's getting tired. He doesn't like all these sounds, like all of us talking." And my grandpa was like, "I mean, yeah, I don't like to hear y'all talk, but I want to see your faces." So that's like, he's just strong and I'm strong, and I faced depression before a lot when I was younger, and where I lived in Woodbridge before I came up here. I faced some times where I got put in a hospital for 2 nights because I was facing depression a lot, and I had to find myself, really look deep into myself and know who I want to be, where I want to go. And from what my grandpa said when he said he's scared, it's okay to be scared. I learned that from him. It's okay to be nervous, to fear something, but to have people around you that love you, you can get through it. The photo that you're looking at is my grandpa in his prime, young, strong, and trying to find his way in the world. He's faced more struggles and witnessed more than anyone has seen in 50 years of life in his first 20, yet still overcame it and made it out on top. I struggle like my grandpa, but haven't had to fight quite as much as he has. I've had to go deep inside myself and find the strength to continue. My grandpa has survived blood cancer for 3 years, is in stage 4 terminal, and still fighting strong. I face health problems too, and depression, like I guess my grandpa has, but not that he would be open about, because like I said, he's strong. He doesn't like to see him weak. My grandpa has fought harder than ever. That's why he's my superhero and who I can relate myself to. He's always remained true to himself and never gave up, even now, and he'll continue to fight until he can't fight anymore.